So we're doing the annual haircut here while I'm down here visiting the folks, and going to be at the 21 convention, the Patriarch convention, and 22 convention. Obviously, got to get a haircut from the old man, and I would like just a regular haircut, short on the sides, longer on top.
You don't want an irregular haircut?
I don't want an irregular haircut, no. Tapered in the back. You know, yeah, exactly. And I have less hair this year than I did last year.
I see that.
As you can see, right?
I didn't hear anybody come to my door.
So do your magic with shooting a video now, but glad you're part of it.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I have less hair this year than I did last year, which, you know, I thought I was going to be bald by the time I was 40, so I'm not complaining. So the fact that I have hair at 60, a little bit of hair, I'm okay with it. And when it gets to the point where there's no more point, then I wonon't shave it. I'll just buzz it down. That's what I'll do.
Rest there has no hair. Either does chocolate.
Yeah, neither does a rocking chair. Yeah. So that's what will happen. All right. So explain what you're doing here as you're doing it. Explain what
I'm doing?
Yeah. Tell the audience what you're doing.
Cutting your hair.
But explain the
I'm
procedure.
tapering the back.
Tapering. And what is a taper?
The taper is a taper.
Tell people what it is. Explain it.
Taper is a taper. You tape it.
If you had to describe it.
I'd call it a taper if I had to describe it.
If someone doesn't know what a taper is, how do you describe a taper?
I don't. I just show them.
All right.
This
Well
is
then,
taper.
show them. What does taper mean?
Gradually.
Okay.
Gradually.
Okay. So it starts out real short.
Yeah.
There was a time when all haircuts started out with tapers, right? I mean, like every man had a taper at one point, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You don't see that much anymore. That tapered
No.
kind of thing.
Well, they want all kinds of tracks and all different kinds of haircuts. Shaved up the back and
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff. Right.
Yeah. So you're doing clipper over comb.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite kind of cutting or scissor cutting? What do you like best?
Well, I'm big on scissors because years ago we used to have customers come in and they didn't want no clipper. They'd say all scissors.
Oh, really?
When I worked
Okay.
at Rockies,
Yeah.
that's the kind of customers we had. Everything was scissors, so I became an expert with scissors.
Okay.
They were afraid if you used the clipper, you know, you were going to butcher them.
Ah, okay.
And they just, there was all clipper. I get flat tops with clipper back then. You get crew cuts with just a clipper. Or with
right.
Not a clipper, but with a shear and comb.
Right.
Do a flat top with it.
Okay.
I can still do them. They're not that hard.
What kind of clippers are you using right now?
These are handies.
And
I got these in.
what year?
I got in Barber School in 1960. These clippers. 1960.
Wow.
I got them.
And you're still using them today?
Yep.
So they're quality. They're worth fixing. You don't throw them out.
No. Some of the girls that work for me down the base, they throw them out. When they throw them out, I pick them up like here. See these holsters? I got all kinds of holsters. Because once they dropped them, they didn't know how to fix them.
Yeah.
I would take them out of the garbage. I'd bring them home and fix them. Just a motor, regular motor in there.
Yeah.
And these.
Motor with a brush motor.
Yeah, with brushes. Yeah.
You
know. And
yeah.
then they found out I could fix them. And instead of throwing them away, they'd give them to me, and I'd end up taking them home and fixing them for them. I've never seen anybody drop shears as much as those women did.
Imagine that.
Or a clipper. Yeah. That was another ordeal working there, I'll tell you that.
All right, so you tapered the back, kind of like arching the ears a little bit.
Yeah.
Line up the side going down to the nape of the neck. My eyebrows are half gray now, so they're kind of catching up. Isn't it weird how the eyebrows stay dark? I'm going to color them
Look at mine,
probably
so
this week.
dark.
Yeah, isn't that weird? The hair turns white, but the eyebrows stay dark. Hmm.
Yeah.
Now Tony just shaves his head. That's right.
Yeah,
he
he
just
shaved it.
he just shaves the head. He doesn't.
Yeah, he went bald early.
When did he lose his hair? About when he was what, like 30, maybe?
In his 20s.
In his 20s?
Heck yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Did he buzz his head or did he start shaving it right away? Because I won't
No,
shave my head. I'm just going to
He
buzz
used to
it.
be bald on top of me. Remember he had long hair down
Oh,
his
like
shoulders?
a mullet. Yeah.
It was down his shoulder. Hair was
Yeah.
down here.
Yeah.
He had long hair. You know, hippie type back then.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I was doing comb over and all that until you shaved me bald at one time.
Yeah.
At the house
Yeah.
without my consent. And
Yeah. I can't stand those comb
kept
overs.
it-
Jesus.
kept it that way ever since.
Yeah. Simplified. And that's probably what I'll do. I mean, you know, eventually, I'm guessing by the time I'm 65, I will just, I'm guessing go with a 2 on the sides and a 4 on top and just kind of, where I don't even have to comb it. You get out of the shower and just,
Just do it triple out and.
no, that's too short. Now that's what you do now,
That's
right?
That's what I do.
You just buzz it down so you have kind of like a little shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, I mean, it's a clean look. I mean, it just, you know,
Well,
it's,
there's no sense kidding yourself.
oh, God.
Comb overs.
Kidding yourself. I know, these guys
I
combing
did the
it.
comb over. I did dyeing of the hair, and when the wind blowed, it'd be like this.
Yeah, it's about 18 inches long on the side.
Yeah.
Looks like a windsock at an airport.
Did all that.
You can tell which way you can tell which way the wind is blowing, right?
Yeah. Pile it all up, put it on the top.
Hmm.
It's too tall for your hair.
Too tall for your hair. Yeah.
So,
I do like it short on the sides though, and a little bit longer on top. I just think that's a good look.
it depends on how short you want it.
Yeah, I just want it like what I just call like a clean businessman's look.
You don't want the cagoots. In other words.
No.
I'll
Those,
give you the cagoots.
no,
That's,
none of that. I'll be having none of that.
you haven't.
I'll be having none of that nonsense. And this is about as long as I'm going to grow my beard, just like this. I'm going to clean it up
I
next
think we
week.
got to do shorter.
I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. Right now it's a little fuzzy, but I'm gonna tighten it up.
Yeah, they got to be a little shorter. I don't look good like that.
I'm gonna tighten it up. I will.
Okay.
I'll get rid of some of the crazy woolliness of the Santa look. The Santa look.
These shears, I bought these 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Supercuts.
Supercuts.
Can't beat them. $8.
Yeah, you know, I got a pair of supercuts, and I got the supercut thinning shears as well.
125.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't buy. Tony gave them to me when he went to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Presarian. 300 and some bucks.
Yeah.
Laser cuts.
Yeah.
A laser.
Well,
cut.
my supercuts I got, and supercuts is the name of a brand
These are
of
changeable blades. But
changeable
I don't even
blades.
know if they
Yeah, and I
make
got
them.
mine.
I don't know if they make them blades.
I
today.
probably got mine, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. And I think mine were about $25. And I still have the same blades.
Yeah.
I haven't, even though you can switch them out, I've had no need to.
Yeah. I know it. How old do you think those blades are?
How old are they?
Probably 40, 50 years.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I've never changed them blades.
Oh boy, and they still
I was
cut.
working in Rockies when I bought them.
Oh my God.
And
Imagine that.
that's more than 40 years ago.
Mm. Wow. That's something.
And they're sharp, boy. They're just, you can't
Yeah.
beat them, man.
Yeah.
Well, we got these because we used to have a sharpener come around every month.
Mhm.
We'd cost us money to get our shears sharpened.
Yeah.
They don't have nobody come around sharpen shears no more.
What is the funniest or craziest story from a barber shop you ever heard? Like some of the shit that you've heard over the years. I mean, you worked in some places with some good people. You worked in some places with some shady people. The barber industry at one time did attract interesting caliber of people.
Well, I worked in several scab shops.
What's a scab shop?
non-union.
Okay.
Before I went union.
And what was the difference between working in a scab shop and working in a union shop?
Well, in a union shop, you got to.
I mean, you're paying dues, of course.
Yeah. And the guarantee is so low. If you didn't make it, you wouldn't be working there anyway.
What do you mean the guarantee? What do you mean?
Well, they guaranteed like $40 a week. If you couldn't make $40, you couldn't. I mean, you might as well quit.
Oh, okay. All right. So let me ask you this: when you first started cutting hair, how much did haircuts cost when you first started cutting hair?
Well, I cut hair in Carroll, New York. That's when I was sleeping in people's cars and all that stuff at night.
Sleeping in people's cars? What do you mean?
Well, I see this guy here. I had it's a long story. He hired me when he had a friend in the army, Louis.
Yeah.
And everybody in town knew it but me. And he's the one that got me to go to barber school and be a barber, because I was working in Remington Rand.
Yeah.
As a shear. I was tailing the shears. Worst job you could have.
What's that mean?
They're cutting the big metal.
Oh, okay. Right.
15, 20 feet long, and you got to be in the back catching it.
Yeah.
It's like a razor when it comes out.
Yeah, right.
Sheet
Right,
metal.
Right.
It's the worst job they had in there.
Mm-hmm.
And you go home at night, if you had sleeves on you wouldn't have sleeves when you went home and cut them right off.
Shred them right up.
Shred them up.
Yeah.
And even my father said, "Louis, gonna let you go," because he had a guy in the army, that friend of his, that he was going to hire when he got out of the army. I mean, that was a rotten trick. I don't care, just for a few. And here Vera would get pregnant and all that.
Yeah.
And I was going to have a kid and all that stuff.
And who was that kid?
You.
Yeah. Okay. Just wondering.
And so one morning I came in there and I heard all these rumors for months.
Mm-hmm.
I used to take me fishing when I was a kid, Louis. I mean, he was like good,
Mm-hmm.
took me places and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In school and everything. I never thought he would do that. And so one morning I walked in and he says, "Well, you don't have to put your coat on." I said, "What do you mean?" And here she was pregnant. I didn't have a job, didn't have no money. And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, I'm hiring Chuck Warner." Now, I knew Chuck. He was a grade behind me in school. He was in the Army.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "You gotta be kidding." And he said, "No."
Where's Chuck now?
Dead.
How do you like me now, bitch?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, Louis dead too. He died a long time ago.
Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out.
Yeah. So, I got on the road. Well, I beat him up first. The cop had to pull me off of him. The cop put the twisters on me, put me right on the ground with those
Jesus.
twisters on your wrist. I would have probably done a big number on him if the cop hadn't come. The cop happened to be standing right out for Tommy Purcell, standing right out front of the shop. So him and Louis always went for coffee in the morning, see? And so I got home and I said to Vera, I said, "Well, I don't have a job." "What do you mean you don't have a job?" They just fired me. I got on the road. I started hitchhiking. Central Bridge, Schoharie, Middleburg, up in the Catskills. Hitchhiking. I didn't have a car. And I hitchhiked, and I ended up getting a job in Carroll, New York, working for an old guy, Frank.
What's that, like in the Catskills area?
Yeah, right in the Catskills. Where you had East Durham, Carroll, then the Catskills.
Yeah.
Carroll was all Italian. East Durham was all Irish.
Now, how long were you out of the Marines at this point?
About a year, I guess.
About a year. Okay.
That, yeah. So anyway, I landed that job in Carroll, two-chair shop. His old man Frank Mayo owned the shop, and that was on Route 45. I tried hitchhiking home a couple of nights and I couldn't get a ride. There's nobody on that. It's a back road. Couldn't get a ride, so I went over in the bushes. I slept in the bushes.
Bushes?
Well, yeah, alongside the road. I slept in the bushes, and then at the morning.
Slept in the bushes on the way home.
In the morning, I went over to, I'd go to the barber shop, and I'd wash up in the barber shop. Frank would come in, and they'd open up, and I'd wash up, and spend all day long. Then at night, I'd walk the streets. He'd go home, and I'd walk the streets till dark, look for a place to sleep. And that's what I say. People don't have to tell me, because I've been there. I know all about it. And so I was sleeping in different. I'd trace a guy, see if his car park in the driveway. If open, I go sleep in the back seat.
Hmm.
Get a couple hours. Well, living above the barber shop was a guy who worked for Pepperidge Farms, and he had that big van.
Yeah.
And I timed him. I knew the time he came home, time he got up in the morning, get in that truck, and go to bed.
Yeah.
And so I started getting in there at night.
Sleeping in a Pepperidge Farm truck.
Yeah, and I'd have food and everything. You know, I'd eat bread or whatever, had everything right there. And then in the morning, I'd make sure I got out. It never caught me because I had him timed just right. You know?
Unreal.
And I slept in that truck for I don't know how long. And so anyway, then I used to go to the Hotel Walters, and they were building the Carroll bypass at the time, and there were all these construction workers they'd go in at night. These guys that drove the tractors and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they were making $200-300 a week, which was big bucks.
That was big money back in that day.
Big bucks.
1959.
So I'd hang around that hotel, and I met a guy actually that he said, "You want a beer?" And I said, "Yeah." So I said, got down and had a beer with him. Then I told him my story, you know, and I don't have a place to go, this, that, and the other. So he'd give me $20, you know. And I used to meet him in there, and he'd get in his car, and we'd go bar hopping and stuff like that at night. And then when he let me off, I'd go find someplace to sleep, you know. I'd go back in that truck or wherever I could sleep. So with the $20, I said, I can't keep sleeping out in these woods like this because I got clothes and all that stuff. I got a paper bag full of my crap. And they had a boarding room, $7 a week, just a bed, nothing else. So with the $20,
Just a bed.
Just the $20 that he gave me, I did $7. So I'd sleep $7 a week is what it was for the boarding room. It's a big house with just rooms.
Yeah.
That's all. You just left there like a flop house. You know,
Wow, flop house.
in Carroll. And
A lot of people never heard that phrase, flop house, before.
that's what it was. And so then Frank says, see, that was just a summer for the New York City tourists.
Yeah.
And he had a brother down in Albany, Charlie Balsano. And he said, hey, after tourist season, you go to work for my brother. So I said, okay. So after it was all over, I went to Albany and worked for this. I worked on State Street down there near that. Back then it was a train station. And I worked there, but I didn't make any money because there was two Jewish guys that were in that shop, and they had me cleaning the shop all the time. I was cleaning, and I never made any money.
Well, how much was a haircut?
Back then it was about 75 cents, I think, something like that.
And how much was a shave?
75 back then. But what they did is they
So for a couple bucks, you can get a haircut and a shave
easy.
and a tip.
Yeah, back then, yeah.
What were people tipping back then?
They weren't. Lots of them weren't tipping.
So
You're lucky if you quarter. I guess quarter was more of the
Wow.
about what you got for a tip.
Wow.
But yeah, it was.
And what kind of products did they use in a barbershop back in those days? What kind of products?
I think
What kind of like pomades? Because that wasn't. What haircut was big?
Steffens was the big.
Steffen. Okay, I've seen that. I think that's still around.
That was the big one. Steffens, and what was the other one?
And what was the big hairstyle back in those days? What were they? What kind of haircuts were there?
Well, there was like a lot of flat top DAs.
Flat top. Okay.
DA with a DA.
DA, a duck's ass. Mm-hmm.
That's what I had when I went to Marines.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
What about pompadour? They have that, or was that later? Was that
the
before?
thing is, we used to do flat tops just shear and comb. We didn't use no clipper
Right.
back then. Just a shear and comb.
Mhm.
It'd take a while too, usually. But after you do it a while, so you can do it pretty fast with the shears.
Mm-hmm. Now, how were you with straight razor shaves?
Oh God, I used to. Well, Frank used to give me all the shaves because there wasn't any money. That's why I couldn't make any money. I was making about $33 a week, and that was all shaves. Frank would do the haircuts, I'd do the shaves, and these are some New York City tourists, some Italian guys with that beard like wire.
Yeah.
And you had to sweat them out. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And he'd give me all the shaves, and I couldn't make no money. 75 cents with no tips. 75 cents a shave is what they got, and I'm lucky if I. Sometimes I do 4, 5, 6 shaves, but take me all day to do a shave because
Cheap Italian bastards.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm joking.
And but we also booked the horses in that barber shop.
Right.
And the guy got caught.
Oh shit.
Yeah. We used to put the bets in the tree. Had a tree outside the barber shop with a hole in it.
Yeah.
A knot. And we used to take the bets and put them in that tree. And the guy who was the runner, he stuck his in there one day to get the bag of cash, and the cops cuffed him right there.
Unreal.
And ended that.
So what other barbershops have not always been known for always above board stuff? Any other shady stuff that you're aware of in shops?
Oh yeah.
Such as what?
Yeah, Clem's Barber Shop on Eastern Avenue.
Oh boy, I remember Clem.
Yeah, that used to be.
So what kind of crazy stuff would happen there?
Well, we did the numbers.
Where's Clem right now?
Well, he's dead a long time ago.
How do you like me now, bitch?
He was a Polish
Right.
guy, but we had an old guy come in. He was a runner,
Yeah.
and the poor cops arrested him every time he took a step. He
When you say a runner, what do you mean a runner?
was a runner for the mob downtown. You know, for running.
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
For,
So he was okay. So he was running the numbers that you were
Yeah,
getting at the shop.
yeah. Every time he walked out of the barber shop, there'd be 2 vice squad. They'd grab him, take him downtown, and arrest him. Poor guy was an old guy. What the hell was his name? And he always carried crackers in his pocket. He'd eat crackers all the time because he lived by himself. He wasn't married or nothing.
Remember the girl I used to date? Her father and mother used to run the numbers over. I don't want to say her name, but over near the Lutheran church. Remember the girl drove the brown Camaro, but her mother
Lutheran Church over on Hamburg Street.
over Duanesburg Road, kind of like over that area. And her mother and father ran numbers. I'll never forget that. And
Well, I knew a lot of guys that ran.
and they
numbers.
did everything on flash paper. Remember flash paper?
I was just going to tell you that.
And they.
That's Jerry. His name.
Let me tell you what flash paper is like.
I know
You'd
what
always.
it is.
I'm telling people here. You'd have always have a cigarette burning,
Yeah.
and whether you smoked or not. And if the door gets kicked down, you just take the cigarette, touch it to the paper, and it goes whoosh,
Yeah.
and all the records just
Yeah.
disappear.
Yeah.
Flash paper.
Well, Jerry, let me tell you a funny story. Jerry, his name was Little Jerry. He's just a little guy. Always wore, even in the summertime, wore top coat, black top coat, like a little mouse. He looked like.
Yeah.
Well, they'd always catch him on Eastern Avenue. The cops would always, the Catholic church across the street, cops would always be sitting in, 2 of them sitting in a car.
Yeah.
Because we did a lot of numbers there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he was.
What were they betting on? Horses? Fights?
Horses.
It was all horses.
Yeah, they were taking him off
Saratoga?
Aqueduct. No, not
Aqueduct?
Aqueduct back then.
So where's Jerry now?
Dead.
How do you like me now, bitch?
The first time he come in, we give him the numbers. He went outside.
Yeah.
He went outside and he had the flash paper. And they called out a car that come across the street. Well, he lit it up, right? He fired it up, the flash paper. They took him downtown, and of course, they go downtown, then 2 hours later he comes back, you know. And so at the end of the flash paper. So we talking, I said, Jerry, what are you going to do now? He says, the cops going to pick you up, you know, for flash. He said, I don't use it no more. So the next time he came in, we give him the numbers. He had a white shirt on with starch cuffs.
Yeah.
Pulled the cuff back and he wrote on it with a ballpoint pen. He wrote on the cuffs all the name, you know, the names
Yeah.
thing. Then he put the cuffs back, and he go out. Well, they caught him again. They got out there and they stripped him down. And they found the numbers all on the inside that cuff.
Jerry never learned a lesson there.
No. Yeah, but this was a good one. So the next time he came in, he went downtown again. Just a few weeks later, he comes in. He's got a banana in his hand. You know how a ballpoint pen writes on a banana?
Yeah.
Well, he gave him the numbers and he wrote
On a banana skin.
on that banana, yeah. And there's a funeral home right next door that I used to work in part-time, cleaning bodies up and all that crap. I used to wash them up when they came and get them ready for Penny upstairs.
Yeah.
And so he got in front of the funeral home, and the same 2 cops jumps out of the car and he peels a banana. When he seen him, he peels a banana and he throws a peeling over in the bushes in the funeral home there. Right? So they took him. They can't find anything. They take him
It's
down.
on a banana peel.
They take him downtown. He comes back, goes in the bushes, gets the banana peel, takes it down.
So Benny upstairs, he worked in a funeral home?
Benny owned it. Benny Kazyaka Funeral Home. He owned the funeral home.
Oh, okay.
He used to be a customer of mine. And
Oh, I thought you were talking about Benny upstairs on Broadway.
No. This was Benny.
Benny Vendetti.
Yeah, no, this was Benny Kazyaka. His name.
Oh, okay.
Polish. I said to him,
Where's Benny now?
He's dead. I'm probably the only one living out of it.
You outlived everybody. All those bitches.
Yeah. Well, he was a customer, and I said to him one day, because I wasn't making no money. I was gambling a little bit back then, you know. I used to gamble. And she used to hold you here. Your mother would come in the pool room, and I'm shooting pool with you
Yeah.
as a baby, crying, saying, "You got to get home.
Yeah.
You got to get home," you know. And I'd be gambling my
That's what happened to me.
week's pay away, you know.
Hmm.
Tops pool room there.
So you gambled away my my baby bottle, baby food money.
I had to make some money somehow, but I
Oh,
lost
Jesus.
money. That's the thing.
Oh God.
But
help us.
I said, "You got a job for me." He
How
said,
many asses did you have to kick to get money back?
to get money back?
Yeah, the money that you lost.
Oh boy, you kidding? I could tell you some gambling stories where I gambled my spare tire in my car,
Oh Jesus.
jackknife my shirt. I had a nice velvet shirt. The guy was a fireman I was gambling with, and he wore that blue that shirt firemen wear.
Yeah.
I ended up wearing that. He ended up wearing my shirt. I played him for the shirt.
Yeah. You gambled your shirt.
My shirt away and my spare tire.
What was that guy's name?
I don't remember.
Where's he now?
He went to college. They were college kids from Union College. Is what they were.
Jesus.
But that was in the dart game. I did that. What's that?
A dart game?
Well,
You don't see people playing darts much anymore, do you?
no,
Boy, I love playing
I
darts.
do too, man. I used to be pretty good at.
I love playing
Me and
darts.
McGurk used to be good.
Give me darts and bocce, and I'm
Me and
set.
McGurk couldn't be beat as partners.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, we were both. Tom was a real good dart shooter.
Was he?
Yeah, I did enough of it, boy. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
Did you ever throw a dart at a person? Anyone ever get a dart stuck in their head?
You know something? You just brought back it's vaguely, but when I got out of service, I got off the bus in Albany, New York, and right next to the Greyhound bus station was a bar, and I went into that bar, and there was a dart thing in there, and I started playing darts, and I did throw it at somebody. I was coming. I don't know if I was discharged. That's when I was discharged, or was I home on leave? One of the two. And I got in a fight in there, and I threw a dart at a guy. But it's vaguely. You just brought it up. I mean, I could vaguely remember it. You know, I don't remember what happened.
I hate when that shit happens.
Oh, I do too.
Damn.
I think you might have been cheating or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Where is that guy right now?
I don't know. He's probably still shooting darts.
Yeah.
They're younger.
All right, so what's the prognosis on my hair? What do you think? I definitely have less hair than I did a year ago.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Well,
What do you think?
what about it? You still got.
I still got some coverage. It's just thinner.
Yeah.
It hasn't receded anymore. It's just thinner.
Yeah, but it's still. You're not like really bald. I mean, it's thin, but you don't have to comb it over yet. When you start combing it over,
I ain't combing nothing over,
Yeah,
man. If it
yeah.
gets to the point where I got to comb it over,
yeah, that's what I
I
did.
will be buzzing it off.
That's what I did. But you still got hair.
Right,
I got a couple guys that come in here with the same deal. And they say I'm bald. I say, no, you're not bald.
right.
When people start calling you baldy, then you know you're
Yeah,
bald.
then you know you're bald.
When you
Right,
got hair like that on your head, they don't call you bald.
right, exactly. Are those new glasses?
I got them last year. I get a new pair every year.
I like those glasses.
VA.
I like them. Let me see them. Let me see them.
They give me a new pair
Let me see them. I think that's going to be my next pair.
every year.
Oh yeah, that's my next pair. Those kind of glasses are my next pair.
Really?
Yeah, I like them a lot.
Oh, your mother picked them out.
I like them a lot. You look like Uncle Junior.
Here's where that's where we used to do our razors like this. On our palm.
Strap it on your hand?
Yeah, see, like that.
And what's that doing?
Just like a strap. You know, we used to strap the razors all the time.
Yeah, right,
Then
right.
we use them on, put them on our hand to.
So it's just enough to bring the edge back.
Yeah.
All right, so now
So
you're going to
yeah.
do the edge.
Yep.
All right.
No cream or nothing. You know, we back then we spent all day honing razors when you didn't have anything to do. Hone your razors. Today with these razors, you don't have to hone them.
Right.
Just replace them.
Right. I don't think they even teach it anymore, to be honest with you.
What? Shaving?
How to hone a razor. I know guys that wouldn't know how to strop a razor if their life depended on it, to be
I
honest
give you
with
all
you.
my hones, remember?
Yeah, I got them. And I got the original Russian leather,
Oh, the strap, yeah.
Russian horse leather
That's
strap.
That's a good
I love that thing.
I use that for years. You don't use it, do you?
No, but I got it hanging at my station.
Oh.
Because I can't use a traditional straight razor anymore. They consider it not hygienic. So I gotta switch out and disinfect razors.
The strap's not hygienic?
No, you can't use traditional razors anymore. So if you're not gonna
Oh,
use
you
a
gotta
razor,
use a...
yeah, you gotta
just use them over and over.
you gotta just use the
as they're-
replaceable blade.
As long as they're sharp.
But I shave some guys that'll dull a razor. You get some of them guys.
Oh,
you
I've
get
been there.
You get some of them. This is my experience. The guys with the toughest beard. It's a trick question. When I ask people, who do you think has the hardest beards? People say, well, Greeks or Italians and whatever. And I get that. You know, you think like dark hair is real rough, and it is. Toughest beard. Scotsmen and Irishmen. Those beards are so damn thick.
Italians, boy, you get them Italians.
Well, it all depends. If it's the southern Italians, then you are going to get that real thick hair. The northern Italians with the blue eyes and close to the northern borders, that ain't
Did you ever
they're
see
nothing.
anybody, barber cut guy's ear off? Part of his ear, top of his ear?
I've never seen that.
Well, I did. Frank did that.
Really?
Carroll, yeah.
Where's Frank now?
He's dead. He's the guy who just worked for in Carroll. He cut. It was in New York City because we got all them tourists, in the summertime out there, Catskills.
Yeah.
And
how do you cut a guy's ear off? What are you like looking somewhere else?
Frank was like back then. He was like almost 80, and he was all hunched over like this.
Oh Jesus!
He was.
Yeah.
He didn't.
That's rough.
He died, I think, that summer there.
That's
when I
rough.
left. But the guy brought his kid in, and he was a rough-looking Italian with a heavy beard.
Yeah.
And he dropped the kid off, and he says, "I'll be right back. I'm going out and do some shopping." But I picked the kid up. Well, he was cutting with his shears, didn't pay no attention. Boy, and he lopped that top right off.
Oh boy.
And did it bleed? And he took
ears bleed bad.
He took sanic strip and towels, and we tried to stop it. Boy, and you couldn't.
Ears
stop
are
it.
the hard man.
And
You cut an ear, forget it.
And he looked like one of them real rough New York City Italians.
Yeah.
And he come in, boy, and he was mad. And he look what you did, and he started swearing. And of course I was young back then, and he was going to hit Frank, and I said, get out of here. Take your kid and get out. And take it to the hospital, and he'll pay for it. And I said, if you don't get out, I'll throw you out. I was 22, I think.
Yeah.
And so he wanted to fight, but I told him, you want to fight, well, fight. But he was going to punch old Frank. I mean,
punch an 80-year-old guy.
I'd be pissed too,
Yeah, right.
My kid's ear was bleeding, and they took a whole thing of sanic strip just to stop it.
Yeah.
Boy,
That's
terrible.
crazy. That's horrible.
Well, he was just too old,
Yeah. You kind of lose.
Come in and see that kid, how to cut an ear. There's a lot of blood comes out.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Ears are very vascular.
Boy.
Anything from like the neck up just bleeds. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so describe the haircut you just gave me. How would you describe this cut?
That's like a businessman's cut, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
They used to call it. We used to call it like a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
Not too.
You think I'll have hair for the next at least maybe 5 years? What do you think? I think my hair loss slowed down. I mean, I don't think I'm losing
you have
anymore.
a little bit around your ears.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Why do we lose hair on top and not on the sides? That's weird.
That's the peak, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
I
guess. All right. Well, that's good. My annual haircut from Dad, and that worked out well.
You want the duck butter on it?
No.
Okay.
So I'm going to take a shower. Plus, we're going out to eat. We're getting steak tonight. Remember, we're taking you out for a steak dinner. We're going to Texas Roadhouse. I'm getting a bone-in ribeye with broccoli and a baked sweet potato. So that's what we're going to do tonight.
You want no duck butter in there?
No, I want nothing in there. All right. So, any final words for my? Oh, look at that. Nice.
Can you see it?
Let's see. Yeah, that's a nice
Talk
taper.
about taper.
I like it, yeah. You don't get them like that anymore.
No.
No. So any final words for my audience? What would you tell all the people? Just a general word of anything you want. What do you think? How do you choose
I got some things they say, when you buy a house, you buy stone, when you buy meat, you buy bone. When you go alone, brother. Nobody gets a free lunch, somebody's got to pay. It ain't what was yesterday, it's what's there today.
You heard it here first.
Wake you up.
That's what I'm talking about.